Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and welcome to the Stump Gang, and we're taking it back in time. Listen, we're going to disclaimer this right off the bat. Anybody who's been following us for a long time, the finale of the original campaign for the Stump Gang was ruined by a mistake for me. I did not click the audio buttons correctly, so you could only hear me through the entirety of the episode. It was one of our most viewed episodes, which to this day gives me an ulcer. So what we're doing today is we have decided to correct this horrible mistake. We're going to go back in time. We're going to replay that now that some time has passed between then and now. And we're also going to add in our newest character into the Origins mix and try and somehow get all that done tonight. But yeah, we're going to correct it. We're going to make it right. So I am not alone. People playing with me. Right below me, we've got Philby330 as Roswell the Alligator.
What's up, guys?
And then
What's going on?
In the middle, we've got our official, unofficial partner in all things TTRPG, Wizard's Respite, or Ash, playing Tex the Armadillo.
Howdy, folks.
And then finally, last but very much not least, Hope Child, playing Ruby the Sparrow.
Yeah.
And hello, whoever is watching. We don't get a lot of time to respond to chat, but we really appreciate anything you want to say, just shouting it out. So, as far as this goes, we're going to take you back to... I'm not going to go over the homebrews again, because, like I said, we have just a ton of stuff to get through tonight to try and make this one episode. But we're going to take you all the way back to the resolution of the first campaign. So, what had happened in the story so far? In the story so far... Tex the Armadillo is an armadillo. He is a mutant armadillo who met up with three orphan girls of varying age. 112, 110, 18. They are called the Stump Girls. They live in a park, in a swamp, in a stump, basically. Like an oversized stump that they've made into a house. And they would steal literally picnic baskets from campers that would come by. They raised Tex as he mutated into a mutant, and he kind of became part of their weird kind of family. We didn't find out too much about them other than the fact that they aren't exactly orphans. They ran away from an adopted father named General Braddock, who is, you're seeing a picture of him on the screen right now. He's just this evil military guy who was experimenting on them with mutagen of some sort. And basically, this is all found out in the first 3 episodes. Please go back and watch. And then Tex almost dies fighting 2 inadvertently mutated soldiers of his who were trying to get the girls back. He survives, but he's heavily wounded. Stella, the eldest girl and the leader, was also heavily wounded. And yeah, but they managed to escape. They managed to escape with the help of the park ranger in the park that they hide out in, Park Ranger McNally. McNally actually almost died himself in the final confrontation. And yeah, so that's where we're going to pick up. But we're also going to tell kind of more in detail the Ruby the Sparrow backstory while we're doing this. And this is also the backstory of Roswell the Alligator, which you guys really didn't get to see last time because of the audio mistakes. So hopefully we get this right. So one more time, just for the cheap seats. If you are tuning in expecting to see the next episode of the Truckin' Turtles campaign that we have been running, that's not what this is going to be. This is going to be us basically correcting a mistake. Our first campaign finale, which was Origins, the Stump Girl Origins, also a playlist on here that you can go back and check out. That's what we're doing. We're redoing that episode just so that it's complete and I can stop having a brain aneurysm every night about it. And then next time we stream, we'll be back to the Stump. We'll have it all corrected and we'll be back to the actual continuity in the future and the present. All right. So let's get into it. We start with an alligator. One of the few alligators in this Texas park that occupies the swamp. This alligator is extremely large for normal alligator size, especially to the region. One could almost consider it a crocodile, like crocodile size, but it's not. It's an alligator because crocodiles don't live in Texas. Now, this alligator is the cock of the walk as far as alligators it goes. Everybody runs from it. It runs the show, takes what it wants, it eats what it needs, whole 9 yards. However, the alligator finds its way to the pond in which all of our previous characters have found their way to. The one that Tex drank from, the one that the Fanged one drank from, the one that has some sort of mutagen runoff from the factory up the river into this pond where it coalesces and starts to create mutants. And of course, the alligator found his way here one day, and sure enough, started to grow. Started to gain intelligence. But before that, he had also been hunting. He had been hunting 3 girls who had made their home in his territory, the swamp part of the park. One in particular, the smallest, youngest one. He had almost taken one day, but for whatever reason, she had had a stake with her, and she had passed it along to him. Since then, that alligator had returned, each time with the idea that he was going to eat and consume the little girl. However, the girl would have food for him, so he would eat the food instead and go on in his merry way. Now, as he starts to mutate, he starts to feel things, he starts to gain consciousness, he starts to ask questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? What am I? And that is when he happens along, that's right, a Zune. A Zune just hanging out in one of the campsites with a pair of headphones just sitting there. He's unsure exactly what to do with the Zune, but with his newfound rudimentary intelligence, he's able to find an outlet that's connected to one of the campsites and plug in the Zune and charge it, only to find out that it is full, head to toe, with conspiracy theory podcasts, non-stop, one after the other. And this is how Roswell the alligator is born. He begins to listen and gather all things he knows from that. The same time, continuing to return to that little girl to consume the food that she offers. But now he no longer comes there to eat her. Instead, he starts to consider her, well,
goddess.
There it is. So, that's our Roswell backstory. But before we can get to Roswell, we actually start at the pond one more time. We see Stella. She's limping up. Stella is the eldest girl, the 12-year-old girl. Blonde hair down to roughly her jawline. Slender. All the Stump girls are slender because they don't eat that much. Raggedy clothes. She is up there with a crinkled up water bottle that she's obviously blown in to kind of slightly reinflate. And then she's dipping it into the pond with the little flecks of green mutagen floating around in it. It slowly begins to fill the bottle, and then she puts the cap on. It's at this point that she turns around and sees McNally. McNally is covered head to toe in bandages, but the idea that he's in here doing his job is kind of crazy. For the record, it's night right now. Well, it's dusk. We're about to hit night. The sun is setting. And McNally just basically walks up to her and goes, "Well, I know you know they've been hunting for you." And she goes, "Yeah, I knew that was coming. Again, I can't thank you enough for listening to me that day and having mercy." And at that point, he puts his hand up. So the situation is this. It's been a couple of weeks since the incident at the ranger station. McNally's obviously out of the hospital, and Tex has been healing up back at the Stump. But sure enough, General Braddock and his men have not taken no for an answer. They've definitely not taken, there's no girls here for an answer, especially with the obvious mutants, 2 of their men becoming Longhorn and Ocelot. So he has been investigating the park, pushing further and further in the park, looking for the girls, sending his men into the park to find them. While McNally has been managing to sneak food and other supplies to the girls because they were in a weakened condition after Stella got basically, if I recall correctly, her leg basically got almost gnawed off by the Fanged one, which was a mutant coyote. And in the final confrontation, or the semi-final confrontation. And, I don't think Aubrey took any damage, but that's where we were. It's at this point that McNally walks up to Stella, goes, I hate to say this, but you can't stay here. There's just no way. He's going to find you. She kind of nods and goes, I know. He's not going to give up. He was never going to give up looking for us, but now that he has even the remotest suspicion that we're here, he's going to keep coming. So she kind of looks at the water bottle, the little green flecks floating in it, and goes, I'm gonna get us out. I'm going to get us out tonight. He goes, are you sure you're up for that? She goes, we can't wait any longer. He's not going to wait any longer. He goes, all right. And then he kind of reaches into his pocket with his good arm. He pulls out a small little folded piece of paper. He hands it to her. She's kind of suspicious to take it at first. But he goes, I can't help you from here on out. I'm too damaged. And really, this is all I know how to do is this park. But I got a cousin. That cousin... well, his name is Burt McCluskey, and he's got a lot of connections. I called ahead, and he's willing to meet you. Just upstate. If you can get upstate to the location on a piece of paper, well, he just might be able to help you from there. You girls be careful. At that point, Stella kind of like nods, takes the piece of paper, looks at it, and then heads off back towards the stump. All right. So to start with our actual players, we're going to go back to Ruby. Ruby the sparrow, we kind of open up on Ruby as a sparrow. She is an incredibly pretty bird. Just a cute, beautiful bird. Just absolutely radiant. Like, anybody who sees this wouldn't think that's a common sparrow. They would think, what is that? That's just gorgeous. However, in the animal world, being a beautiful anything attracts predators. So the other sparrows kind of oust her. They don't care for her. She ends up kind of getting pushed out of flocks, pushed away from them. And like that, one day, because she is so pretty, she does actually attract a predator. We see that predator attack her. It doesn't kill her, but it manages to clip her wing, and she ends up falling down into this forest with some barrels just kind of thrown off to the side of a highway, basically. These barrels have fallen from the road down the embankment and kind of been knocked open. We all see some green ooze floating out of it. Ruby falls into that ooze, and sure enough, she starts to mutate. We're going to fast forward just a little bit now. We see off to the side of the road, we see a big truck, just a nice, huge semi-truck. Inside, we see a very big, strong Native American woman with a large, ridiculous hat for no reason, like a sun hat. But she's wearing a denim vest buttoned up on the center with cutoffs to show that she's got muscles. Nothing that she would sit there like pumping iron in, but way bigger than your average person. And she has Native American tattoos, regional tattoos, on either side. Her dark hair comes out from under the sun hat in two braids that come down behind her ears, but then down her shoulders and down the front of her. And she, of course, wears some ripped up, faded jeans and some big boots. At this point, we hear just this huge bang. Boom! Ruby also hears this. We see the shadow kind of shake off in the distance. But we hear this big bang. She swears. At that point, she starts to pull over into one of the many places on the highway where the shoulder is widened so the semi-truck can make emergency stops. Semi-truck gets pulled over. As it pulls over, Birdsong picks up the CB, calls out the requisite breakers before saying, yeah, anybody out there, I'm going to need a truck. I'm going to need help. Just blew a tire. And I'm going to need some help out here as soon as anybody can get to it. And she hears some CB chatter come back at her. She goes, all right, how long you say? That is just going to put me behind. All right, well, if it's the fastest it could be, it's the fastest it could be. She unclicks the CB, hangs it up, gets out of the truck, decides to go for a stretch. And that is when she sees Ruby Sparrow. How tall is Ruby? She's not that tall, right?
Ruby is 4'4".
She sees 4'4" Sparrow with fully formed human arms as well as her wings on her back. Kind of. Well, she doesn't see you. We're gonna take this back. You are new. Take your mind back in the role-playing area. You're new. You're fresh-faced. You can barely kind of put words together. And you basically see this woman kind of get out of the cab, and she's stretching outside the cab. The bang startled you awake. You've been just kind of surviving in the woods for a few days, trying to figure out what's happening to you. So what do you do?
I'm going to try and kind of go towards her,
Okay.
but be cautious about it because, again, I'm used to when I see people, I flee.
Okay. You kind of start to go towards her. It seems like the right instinct to do in this. Even though you've been afraid of people basically your entire bird life, there's just something about your mutation that you feel like you need help. And for whatever reason, this woman feels like she could help you. She's kind of like stretching. Do you make your presence known, or are you just trying to watch her from the shadows?
So I'm going to kind of go and kind of, not to startle her by any means, okay? But I want to go up along the side of the truck towards where she's at and kind of just like peek my head around to kind of, I want her to notice me, but not to where I'm going to startle her to where she's going to want to harm me.
Okay. All right. So you're trying to make yourself known without spooking her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So you start to kind of move around the forest, kind of up the embankment. And she's just kind of, you can just see now she's kind of doing some stretches, and she's walked over to the truck. She's looking at her blown front tire. She doesn't have a double on the front, so she's definitely gonna need some sort of pickup or assistance. And she's just kind of looking at it. And then she kind of stops. And she looks up and she sees you, and then she does kind of like a double take. And then she says something in a language you don't understand in any way, shape, or form. You would assume it is the whatever Native American tribe she belongs to's version of what the fuck.
Right. Okay. So I guess what I want to ask is with me being a little bit newer, and I'm learning still to, am I still, with me having my speech and stuff, am I developed enough to be able to say something to her to where she would understand it? Or is it still kind of the caw kind of?
I think you've definitely started to form some words. Kind of when she speaks to you, you kind of like almost naturally, because any comics you read, most of them, the turtles kind of naturally learn English for some reason. So I've just kind of built that into the lore here. So with this, you kind of like can kind of start to form some words. So I would say rudimentary at best.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of say to her that I come in peace. You look like you need help.
She slowly stands, and for the first time in your short life, you see a human that really, like, there is no ill will towards you. There's no malice. This is your first experience with her, and she looks at you and she goes, "I don't know, honey. It looks like you might be the one who needs help. Are you a spirit or something?
You're not going to harm me?
Oh, no, I'm not going to harm you. What would be the point of that? I mean, you're not trying to harm me, are you?"
Well, of course not. I'm so used to being shooed away or, try to be caught and stuck in cages.
She walks over, and she kind of walks over to you. She walks over cautiously because she's still not exactly sure what you are. But she walks over and she goes, "Why would anyone shoot you? You're just absolutely the cutest."
Oh, well, looks like you're in need of help. I can try and help you as much as I can.
Yeah. If the Earth is sending me you to help, I appreciate it, but I don't know what you're going to do in your current state. How about you I get you into the back of my cab, and we can't see about getting you cleaned up.
Sounds like a plan. I could use all the help right now.
And for everybody out there, if you are mutant sparrows, don't just get in the back of cabs of random truckers. Just as a disclaimer, just don't go. But in this case, works out completely fine. Birdsong is just nice. She basically takes you into the back of her cab, and she helps you clean up. She cleans up, your feathers and stuff. She definitely has a hard time with it at first because she's not sure. But she definitely sees you shivering a little. Your body mass is bigger, so it's harder for you to stay warm. So she offers you some clothes of hers, some old clothes. Like she kind of opens a small little closet she's got in her sleeper, just with some clothes like tightly packed in there, and just goes, pick some out of there. Anything that'll fit you. I mean, you're not exactly the normal kind of figure, but I'm pretty sure there's some stuff in there you could drape over. You might keep you warmer.
Thanks. I appreciate the help.
So why don't you tell me your story?
Well,
how'd you end up out there? I'm starting to feel like you're not a spirit.
Well, I was flying peacefully up above those trees, and of course I had been pushed out of my flock because I'm not like everybody else. They don't want me around because I cause too much trouble.
Well, you are
And
a
then
little
next
big
thing
for a
you
sparrow.
know, well, I wasn't this big at first. Next thing you know, something hit me, or I'm not really sure what happened, but I ended up coming down through these trees and ended up in some yucky green stuff.
She's like, all right, well, sounds like you don't have anywhere else to go, and neither do I. So for now, you can tag along with me. But I'd say stay in the back of the cabin while the other people are here fixing the truck.
Of course, I'm always here to help.
All right, we're going to cut back away. Roswell, you are snaking your way down the river. The dusk is slowly turning into night. Headed back to your favorite eating spot to get the food from the goddess, who you have started to have real empathy for as a child. Like, you just like it's somewhere along the line. It turned from I'm going to eat you or the food you give me, period, to a real, like she's the closest thing to a friend you have, basically, at this point. When, sure enough, you see 3 soldiers moving through the river. They are slowly making their way towards the Stump girl's little shanty shack that they have on the stump in the middle of the bog, basically. They're slowly wading through it towards them, towards this stump. They haven't seen the stump or the shack yet, but they're getting very close, and that's definitely where they're headed. 3 of them.
I'm going to prowl through the water, and how long has it been since I've gotten some grub from Goddess?
Probably about 2 days. You've definitely gotten some grub in other places, but you're hungry.
Okay. What are these guys on the shore?
No, they're wading through the water. They're about waist deep already.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna play this like I did last time. I remember.
You can actually hear one of them go, "How in the hell did we get stuck trudging through the swamp?" And the other one's like, "Man, I don't like having this much water. You can't see anything below the surface." And then there's a third one that's a girl that seems to be in charge. She's like, "Would you two shut up? If there is somebody out here, we're gonna spook them." And then somebody else, one of the other guys goes, "There's nobody out here. Nobody's stupid enough to live in a waist deep swamp."
Okay, so the guy who said that I'm gonna swim as stealthily as possible underwater and grab his leg and just pull him under.
Okay. I am going to take some liberties with rolls for the sheerest fact that I want to actually get through all of the stuff we have to do. And I, for one, know that you succeeded all these rolls.
Yeah.
So, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to only make you guys roll when I feel like it's really necessary to the tension of the story and probably in that final battle. But, yeah, so you go low, you snatch his leg, he just, whoop, dips right underwater. You do a quick twirl, and he just starts to, like, spin on axis. Like, you're just naturally death spinning him, basically. And the one guy's like, holy shit! Oh, what was that? The other one's like, are there crocodiles? There's no crocodiles in Texas. The guy's like, it's not a crocodile, it's an alligator. The girl's like, it's not a crocodile, it's an alligator. He's like, who gives a shit what species it is? It's a dinosaur, and it just took Jack. What do you do next?
So I let Jack go, and basically I'm trying to cause panic among the group.
Right.
And my whole thing is to keep like horror movie style, like one by one, trying to drag these guys down and be fast, going in, because I'm pretty speedy underwater, especially.
At this point, Jack pops out of water real quick, turning around and just starts just shooting his machine gun, which we'll get to Tex's response to that in a second. But just water, pip, 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 splashes up. The woman's like, stop! And then the other guy goes, no, it's over here, and just starts mowing down some of those like swamp reeds that come out of the water, just mowing them down. And the girl's like, would you stop? And it's at that point that you catch the girl's ankle, and she's like, would you stop? And just goes right under into the water. Just thrashing around. They both turn, they're like, Janice! Corporal! Janice! What do you do while you're flipping her around underwater?
I'll let her go and then surf, because it's nighttime, right?
It's late dusk, so I would say it's twilight right now.
Okay, so it should work then.
It's easy to stay hidden for you because there's a lot of shadows in the swamp, basically.
I let her go, and how alligators can surface enough just to put their eyeballs above water.
Yeah.
So I kind of do that. Come up, put my eyeballs up, go under, come up, put my moving all around, so it almost is giving the appearance that there's more than one.
Oh no.
One of them just starts hyperventilating. Like, he's not even saying anything.
Yeah.
Janice comes out like spits some water. She's like, maintain your calm. What the hell is that?
What?
I don't know. My dog just started barking upstairs, which is not the time to bark. Jack kind of is looking around. He's like, there's too many of them, Janice. We got to get out of here. She's like, too many of what? She's like, whatever pulled you under. It pulled him out. It pulled me under, and it pulled you under. There's at least two of them. And then one guy's like, I don't like water. Janet's like, fuck it. Fall back. Call for the boats. And then they just start sprinting out of the water. We're going to cut.
As they're leaving, though, I want to just make the most creepy chuckle. As they're running away.
One of them's like, what the fuck is that, man? It's like the clown from It is in here. I didn't sign up for that shit. Inside the shanty, Tex, the armadillo, our cowboy armadillo, you have been just resting and trying to recuperate and trying to bring yourself back up to, healthy. And you're getting there. You're bandaged. You're hurt, but you're getting there. Aubrey's in the shack with you. I think Lila was there too. Yeah, Lila's in the shack with you as well. So Aubrey is the 10-year-old. She has she has short kind of crew. I don't want to say crew cut hair, but it's short hair that she's cut off herself, and she's got like more bruises and dirt on her face. She also always has this small wooden bat with her that's just covered in stickers that she calls Horsey. And then Layla is just the 8-year-old, and she's just super cute. That's the best. It's like cute 8-year-old child with auburn hair. Like that's what she is. And she's the super uplifting one, whereas Aubrey is always looking for a fight and swearing way too much. And basically you've been just like recuperating for the last couple of weeks from your absolutely earth-shattering fight with Longhorn. And you know what's going on. You know that the general has been slowly pushing into the swamp, but you guys have been hiding in the swamp, and Stella has been making runs to get food, but you've been starting to get worried about that, and you're finally starting to get to a point where you can start getting on your feet, start getting into the action, and start getting moving. That is when you hear just a series of machine gun shots, no more than like 60, 70 feet away. And then another series, and then another series. Aubrey's like, what the fuck was that? Lila's like, who would be setting off firecrackers today?
Well, little lady, I've got a feeling that those aren't firecrackers. Everybody, get down. Stay low to the ground.
Aubrey clutches her back to her and gets low. So does Lila. I'm guessing you grab your incredibly large hand cannon that I never should have given you.
Of course.
Put it in your holster, the big revolver, and your cowboy hat. What do you do after you get up?
I'll go to the door and sort of prowl around the corner to see if I can't take a peek at what's going on.
Okay. All right. No worries on the rolls, but you look outside and you see basically down the river, you see, it's just in time you see another bunch of muzzle flashes. They're not shooting at you, but they're definitely soldiers. You can pick that up just from their yelling at each other. Like you can hear it. It's only 60, 70 feet away and it's a quiet night. So it's not hard to pick up what they're putting down. And then you see them all run very far away. And then you hear an eerie, scary chuckling that just reverberates through the swamp.
Well, dag nabbit. Girls, we got a situation. And I think it's about time we make our way and find your older sister and get the heck out of here. Something ain't right in that swamp.
Aubrey's like, yeah. I'm getting real nervous about Stella. She went a while ago. She was just going to meet McNally for food, but she's been gone longer than she should. Lila's like, you don't think anybody picked her up, do you?
I reckon not. No. We will just go and see if we can't meet her halfway between where McNally was supposed to meet her and from here. Then we'll get the heck out of here. Did you guys hear that weird chuckling?
Roswell, what are you doing after they run?
Well, I'm going to say that I was on my way to go visit Goddess.
Right.
So, I continue to head towards the swamp to the stump.
All right. You head over towards the stump. You actually see the armadillo peeking out.
Listen, freak, you better not be encroaching on Goddess.
That's what you hear, Tex.
All right.
I'm still in the water, like.
Yeah.
I don't see any. Don't see him. He's too well camouflaged.
You know what? I'm going to give him a prowl check. I don't remember what you guys were rolling at this time, and you're versing each other, so go ahead, prowl check for me.
Okay. What is my prowl? 70%. 36. So
Okay, no, you don't see him.
Who the hell what's going on out there? Show yourself. I'm gonna draw my gun.
Whoa there, cowboy. Why don't you put that away? I'm here to visit the goddess.
Tex, you feel a tugging on your back, on your vest. Excuse me? Excuse me?
Go sit down. There's some weirdo out here stalking in the night, trying to figure out where he's at so I can put one in him.
Goddess, is that you?
Lila's like, it's okay. I think I could clear this up. He's just a buddy of mine. Aubrey's like, a buddy of yours? What do you mean a buddy of yours? We live in a swamp. She's like, I know. I've been feeding him. He likes chicken wings.
You've been feeding strangers chicken wings?
He's not he's not more strange than you. So I don't know if I call him strange.
That's not exactly how that works, youngin'. But the point is, who is he and how is it we don't know nothing about him?
At this point,
yeah.
I'll start to wade out of the water.
Actually, while they're going back and forth, you just see a shadow slowly coming out of the water. Like they're not noticing it, but Roswell's just becoming visible in front of them.
Goddess, you should have seen their faces. 3 guys coming to, I don't know what they were coming to do, but they were up to no good. I scared the fuck out of them.
You turn and see a giant alligator there. I mean, giant for you. He's human-sized, but giant for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna get in front of the girls and be like, get back, girls. We got another one of them, mutants sent by the army folk or whatever they want to call themselves. I'll take care of this.
Who are you to call me a mutant, freak?
Aubrey's like, you're both incredibly freaky. You realize that, right?
Well, you're awfully short.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, lady.
Lila's like, look, he's my friend. Seriously. And then she just kind of like plods past you unless you try and stop her. And she just walks over to him with like a bag of chicken wings and hands it to him. Here you go, big guy. Aubrey's just like mouth agape like, Lila, that's an alligator.
Goddess, your bounty never fails to smile upon my gullet. You are the most beautiful creature my eyes have ever laid up on.
Lila's like, aw, thank you. And then she just like hugs your thigh.
I find this to be quite unsettling.
I ain't
like,
sure.
You find it unsettling. You're an armadillo. I'm a person. I find it really unsettling.
I'm an armadillo, and he's an alligator. There's a distinct difference between our two proclivities. Proclivities.
Goddess, are these two giving you trouble?
She's like, no. She turns and she points to Aubrey. She says, that's one of my sisters. She's the one I told you about that hits people with the bat. And then this is Tex. He's the armadillo that shoots people with his gun.
Not always just people.
He's also very polite.
I see that. His manners leave a lot to be desired. That's something we could work on, maybe. But how was such a goddess as you born to just an average human like your sister?
He's like, I don't know. Never met my mom. Never met my dad. Just kind of a thing. Aubrey's like, Are you really telling the giant alligator our backstory? Aubrey finally walks out and kind of points the bat at you and goes, are you going to try and eat any of us?
No, little lady. You see, I like to come and visit your sister here, and something I've done in my life has given me the blessing of the goddess that you guys seem to not respect as much as you should.
She's like, oh, I respect everything going on. I'm just very scared of it.
I said, hesitantly holster my gun and just sort of shake my head. John Wayne never had to deal with any of this.
Aubrey hears you and looks at you and goes, John Wayne wasn't an alligator. It wasn't an armadillo.
Who the fuck's John Wayne?
He was a Texan. I actually have no idea if he was a Texan or not.
I have no idea. I know he played Genghis Khan in a movie, and that's problematic.
Yeah. Not well.
At this point, Lila goes, I think John Wayne's flavor of ice cream. Aubrey just kind of shakes her head and goes, okay, well, this is our reality now. And it's at this point that Stella kind of like walks around the corner. And we're going to cut back over to Ruby. Ruby.
Yes.
You have spent some time with Birdsong now. She cleaned you up. She got back going. You did kind of a truck job with her, and there was something that kind of spoke to your heart about this is kind of cool. You like this experience, just seeing the world. Plus, there's a person who's being nice to you, who's actually like, she's typing things. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just trying to get my headset. The other one died.
Oh, okay. All right. I was
You're
worried.
good. You're good. I can hear you through my speakers right now.
Just talking to nothing.
That was me typing.
Oh,
If you
okay.
heard that typing. There's somebody in the chat I was saying hi to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, So you're getting along really good with her, and so this just kind of speaks to you. But as you're finishing after the people come and they get the tire on, and they go, she comes up. She goes, "You can come up front now."
Are you sure it's gonna be okay?
Yeah, honestly, most people. Well, I don't think most people are going to find you that crazy, but I'm certainly not going to find you crazy. So, come on up, sit up.
Okay. I mean, as long as you're saying it's okay.
She goes, "Listen, what you said to me, I feel like you tend to let people push you around a little bit."
Yeah, I'm one of those. I really like to be liked by other people, but again, like I said, my flock they weren't very nice to me. They always said that I was causing trouble.
Well, look, I don't know about your flock, but I'm going to say this. You got to take care of yourself out there. It's just the way it is. I used to be stuck, tied down to one person, just in a real hell of my own making. But I found the freedom I needed, and I found it by myself. But I can help you find that freedom if you want.
Great.
Oh, I did not hear it. I heard one word of that, and it was great at the very end.
Now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
All right. Well, I can show you some stuff. And then basically we see her kind of completing her first delivery. And then she starts to show you stuff. She starts to show you how to, brawl, how to fight, how to throw punch, how to kind of like become more self-sufficient. She shows you how to shoot a gun. and other stuff, and she becomes your mentor, kind of showing you when to take crap from people, when not to. She shows you how to drive the truck, which is really nice, and she just goes through it. Is there anything else you want to say to her during this? I think that we could slow the montage down for that.
Yeah, I, of course, as she's going through each individual thing, I show my gratitude to her, to say, thank you so much. You really have been making me into a great new sparrow to be able to be self-sufficient. And I don't think anybody else would have ever done this for me.
Honey, you're not a sparrow. You're something else entirely. And there's nothing wrong with that. And as far as I'm concerned, this world is big, and it's beautiful, and it's wonderful, and it's fantastic to see, but it is not without its danger. And I know that better than just about anybody. And I certainly ain't going to let nobody else take advantage of me, and I don't want you to ever again either. If you ask me,
Well,
I don't understand bird politics, but your flock was stupid. And you got a chance to be better than them.
Well, I'm definitely going to take and learn as much as I can from you going forward, and I'm going to apply it. I just hope one of these days I'm never having to do without you.
She's like, oh no. It's going to take a lot to take out old Birdsong here. Let's face it. I'm pretty indestructible.
As I've seen.
We're going to switch back over to Tex, Roswell, and the girls. You see Stella come around the corner. Aubrey goes, oh, shit, where have you been, Stella? Stuff's been going on. Soldiers have been here and here. And she's like, I know. As she steps out of the darkness, kind of into the more twilighty thing, you see that her eyes have become green. Like the not the pupils, but the blood vessels are prominent green all the way up to the irises. And Aubrey takes a step back and goes, you didn't. You know we're not supposed to do that stuff. Where did you even find some? And Stella, pulls the water bottle out. It has the water with the floating green in it. Roswell, to you, it just looks like a bottle of water with snot floating around in it. It does not look special in any way, shape, or form to you. But, yeah. Stella kind of looks up at you, Roswell, and goes, he wasn't in the plan. Who are you?
I'm a follower of the goddess of bounties.
He's crazy.
Aubrey shrugs and goes, we're all crazy. Lila's like, I don't know about that. I think we're all doing just fine, she says, next to the 5-foot shanty shack in the swamp, next to the giant mutant animals. Stella, but the eyes are the way they are. Tex, you've never seen her eyes do that. They are unnatural in some way. In some way.
But I would know what's in the bottle, right? Because we've kind of encountered that in the halfway recent.
You never, you know what? Go ahead and give me an intelligence check with control. Control is 50 right now. You guys are very much in control. Because here's my thing. You've never seen the water outside the pond. You know what the pond is, but you wouldn't necessarily see the water bottle and immediately go, oh, the ooze water, you know?
Oh, I definitely passed it, especially with that control of 50. I rolled a 14.
You put 2 and 2 together. It's the ooze water.
Yeah. Stella, you're looking a little green around the irises there. And I'm not liking the connection I'm making to that bottle of water there too much either. That's the kind of stuff that turns you into, I look up at Roswell, an interesting individual.
She,
Not sure I like the way you said
that. Lila goes, you guys are going to be best friends. Stella speaks with more like logic and gravitas behind her than she normally does, or that would be characteristic of any, what did I say she was? 12-year-old? 12? Any 12-year-old. And she just looks at you guys and goes, there's no time to explain. I haven't explained everything. We haven't explained everything. We kept secrets. We kept them for a reason, and I will fill you in later. However, I'm going to explain as quickly as possible that drinking the mutagen gives me a special power, and that power is I can strategically discern our next moves. Aubrey looks at you and goes, she becomes like super smart. Super smarts. Why don't you ever say super smarts? When you get super smart, you get kind of snooty. Stella shrugs that off and continues to talk. She goes, General Bradford is coming, and he's going to come in full, especially if soldiers were here and saw any of you. We have to make an escape, and I know how to do that. She points up the river. She goes, upriver. Once we hit the beach, we can make a train, but we have to get there in the next hour. We jump the train will take us out of the park, and I don't think Bradford will be expecting it. It's the only way out that I can see with these. And she points to her eyes.
Strategically, huh?
She goes...
And this worked in the past? I look over at Aubrey, actually.
Aubrey's like, yeah, it works for all of us. She says that to you almost sorrowfully. Like there's stuff they should have told you and they didn't tell you, and she feels regretful about it.
I put my arm around her shoulder and I said, look, we'll talk about all this later. It was about the same time we talk about the little one being a goddess or whatnot.
She goes, I thought everybody already knew that.
Well, we didn't. Going around being goddesses with green eyes and Look, if she's saying that this is right, we ought to hightail it out of here. If you're saying that she can strategically think our way through this stuff, maybe she knows a thing or two.
I gotta say, I'm not a fan of you girls partaking in something that looks like it was created by some government agency in Roswell, somewhere in New Mexico, on some private site.
Lila actually looks up at you, Phil, and goes, looks up at Roswell and goes, oh my god, Roswell, this totally looks like the alien blood that you were telling me about, remember?
100% remember, Goddess. And I've been trying to warn you about these secret endeavors that the government's been pulling on the public. And I do not trust this kind of fluid. It could turn you into some kind of freak. And I just kind of look at Tex.
I'll look at him and be like, freak. Really now? And then I'll look down at Lila and just say, what kind of cow patties has he been shoveling in your ears, youngin'?
So much more contentious. Lila goes, he's super smart. We've got to keep him. And then she starts just like, she plods off. She's like, by the way, I've got a way out. And she just starts plodding up kind of across like a couple of sticks that have been down in the swamp towards like an island.
What do you mean now? Keep him now? What is this nonsense about keeping the giant alligator man creature? I'll follow her, mumbling to under my breath.
Yeah. So Lila, you find out, is incredibly good with like gadgets and tinkeringly, almost like savantly so. She has built a fan boat out of like some old like sheet metal pieces that she's found, and some like fans that she's put together and like souped up their like engine, their whatever to get them to go. And she kind of like, she's like, it's just a project I've been working on. Aubrey's like, a project you've been working on? You're feeding a dragon and you have a fan boat in our backyard? I feel like I don't know anything anymore. Stella's like, no, this is perfect. We'll use it. We'll escape. And we have to go now. They're coming. I can tell. She kind of like looks down the river, and you guys can actually start to hear the fan boats from them coming at this point.
Well, giddy on up. Let's get going.
All right, you guys jump into the fan boats.
I'm gonna jump into the water.
Yeah. Lila's like, you sure you don't want to ride?
Very sure, goddess. I'm much more efficient in the water than on that contraption there.
You guys just... so who's driving it then?
I believe
think-
that was Tex originally.
Was it actually
Okay.
Tex that drove?
Thought so.
I'll give it a shot.
I know he shot, but I don't know if he was the one who drove.
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, guys. I'll
No, it was
flash in
Stella.
for you.
It was
I
Stella
have
that
a
drove.
great drive.
What's up? Yeah, right.
I said,
Yeah, but
I'll
do you have
flash in.
both?
I can do the.
Do you have pilot boat? Because you need pilot boat for this one. Stella is
Oh,
the pilot
I don't
boat.
have that.
Stella actually climbs up into the seat, clicks the engine, the fan boat takes off, and you guys rip down the river at high speeds. At this point, Roswell, you're actually you can kind of keep up with them with your swim. I remember you really nailed a swim roll at this point.
Yeah.
It's not like if the river was super long and the amount of space you were going was super long, you'd eventually fall behind. But like, you're never gonna lose sight of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're slowly kind of getting away from you, but overall you're keeping pace with your swim, just like moving at extreme speeds through the river. And sure enough, two fan boats just start like brawl right up behind you guys. Everybody roll initiative. Much as I want to avoid most rolls, there's no way to not roll these things.
16.
I got a 20.
All right, so it is going to go Tex first, fan boat, Roswell, fan boat.
On fan boat, how many guys are on each one?
2.
2 guys on the. I'm gonna aim for the driver of the first fan boat,
All right, take a shot.
the closest. Ooh, that's a 21 to hit.
Wow.
Yeah, I love this gun so much.
You roll a dodge. He does not dodge. Go ahead and give me your damage.
46 comes out to 17 damage.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
All right.
Brutal.
You kind of like standing on the back as Tex is driving, and you just like maybe spurred on by the fact that now you have a rival in Roswell and are ready to impress. But you just whip the gun out, aim it perfectly at the first fanboat driver coming up, and take a clean shot. Boom! The gun goes off. We see the bullet just fly through the air. It hits his collarbone, shattering his collarbone and coming out the back. His whole one side kind of goes limp for a second. He falls backwards into the fan on the boat. The whole boat like twists and flips, sending the other guy with like a Wilhelm scream, like off into the water, crashing to the water. Meanwhile, the other fan boat like whips past and is still coming up. However, you did take out the higher initiative fan boat, so Roswell, you're up next.
If I remember correctly, I go after the boat itself.
Yes, if I recall correctly. I mean, you don't have to do everything exactly the way you did, but I'm pretty sure that's how you did it.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Everything that's happened today has been cool, so I don't think anybody's going to fault anything.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Oh, do you want just make an attack roll?
Yeah, make an attack roll on the boat. Tell me what you get.
First attacks. Trying to remember what I had. Hold on, sorry. 8 total on the first attack.
The boat, I'm not going to say it dodges, but it, like, you slam into it and it bounces a little, but it's not enough to really, like, do anything. You think you got a good angle on it, but you don't. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Still your turn.
Second attack.
For 3 more
18.
brutal attacks.
That one hits. Give me some damage. Actually, fuck that. Roll a control strength check. Or physical strength.
What's our control at right now?
It's at 50. Giving you guys good control until the very end.
Ooh, I needed a 69 and I got a 66.
66. Ooh, okay. So you kind of swim away from that first blow, like kind of build up speed so that you're even with it, and then just like dart sideways, putting your whole shoulder into it, coming up out of the water. The whole boat like kind of like clicks over to the side and just like flips sideways. Give me a PP check. You know what you're doing, Palladium. Control is still 50.
67. Negative on that one. I rolled a 90.
Okay. You hit it with such force, though, that you kind of go with it. Like, you put too much of yourself into the attack. So the boat actually goes up sideways, kind of skiffs sideways and slams into a down tree. When it does slam into this tree, the boat kind of comes up, but you were kind of almost on top of the boat. You had hit it so hard, like on top of the side of it. And you end up flipping off through the water, crashing on the boat. Well, the boat crashes down. You end up crashing onto the boat, but the boat is upside down at this point. So you kind of crash onto the boat and land. I'm going to roll a little bit of damage on you. We're going to say 4 points of damage to you.
Okay. Got it.
It's at this point, though, that the one soldier that was on the boat managed to tuck and roll a little bit. And he actually pulls himself up on the front of the boat. He lost his machine gun in the twirling, but he pulls his knife and he goes, God, I've got to take this freak out, and brings the knife down to try and hit you. But you still have 2 more attacks. I'm not going to take those away from you.
That's a miss. And then 15.
Okay, so that first one, you're just you're stunned from the kind of wild crash, and you can't really get up in time to hit that first attack, and he just manages to close on you, but you end up to step in. Are you bringing your teeth in?
Yeah, for sure.
Just so that everybody knows, Roswell uses 2 machetes that he's carved teeth into the blades on. So that he can have his teeth, basically. And he brings a huge teeth mark across him. He's going to try and parry with his Bowie. What'd you get to hit him?
Jagged, too?
Yeah. It caused
15.
That most assuredly hits him. Damage.
$11.
All right, you kind of just bring the teeth up. You end up catching him right across the chest. Just blood sprays out of him. It rips flesh, rips the material and everything. He's already pretty banged up and bruised from the crash. You just see him grab his chest, drop his knife. The fight leaves him as he falls backwards into the swamp.
All right, that's the end of my turn.
All right, do you continue to swim after the boat?
Yeah.
You can actually hear more fan boats off in the distance. This isn't the only ones that are coming, but you leap all off the boat, back in the way, and just take off to swim. We switch back over to Ruby. Ruby, you are basically, you guys are sitting in a rest stop. You're the only truck in this rest stop. It's night. You guys are sitting out on the trailer of the truck. She basically like sits down. She's told you to come up with her. You both sit down. She hands you some tea. Well, she pulls out 2 cups. She pulls out a thermos, pulls out 2 like kind of like tea bags, puts it in there, and then pours some hot water from the thermos in each and hands you one. She goes, "I like to come out here sometimes just to look at the immensity of it," and then looks up at the stars. It's a clear, beautiful night. Can't hear a word you're saying.
It's a much more beautiful view when you're up there actually in the clouds.
And do you miss being able to fly, like really fly? I haven't asked you. Do you miss your old life? You guys have had a few weeks to kind of like go over your story a little bit, so she's kind of come to understand what you are.
Not really. I mean, now that I have you, I mean, I really don't miss it much.
She kind of smiles. She goes, "Oh, sweetie, that's nice. But you can't rely on me for everything. I mean, I know I said I'm not going anywhere, but everybody goes somewhere sometime. You know that, right?"
Well, of course. But I'm going to, of course, enjoy my cup of tea and our chit-chat for the evening.
Your cup of tea, unfortunately, is cut short, though, because it's at this point that you hear these like revving motorcycles off in the distance. She kind of looks off. She's like sips the tea, and then you see just like kind of coming down the highway. Then coming down the highway, you see this large group like motorcycles and kind of weird motorcycle adjacent creations. Almost, it's hard to explain from far away. But she looks at you and she goes, "Shit. Don't come this way, don't see us. Don't come this way, don't see us." That's what she says at first. You don't know who these are.
What's going on?
Los Diablos El Banditos. They're
Who?
they're a biker gang that literally specializes in hijacks.
So bad news?
Very, very bad news. And if they see us, if they start coming this way, we're in trouble. And sure enough, almost as soon as she says that, you see the entire biker gang divert to start to come up the ramp into the rest area. She's like, "Damn it, get in the car!" And just like throws the tea and just rushes towards the cab, kind of leaping over the side and almost like, even at her kind of like, she's like late 40s, early 50s, and somehow she's very fit. Like somehow she's perfectly like flips in through the window, Dukes of Hazzard style, landing in the engine to hit the start. Do you get in the side? What do you do?
Yeah, I listen. When she speaks, I do.
Okay. At this point, the whole engine starts up. She shifts it. The engine lurches to motion, and you guys are flying down the on-ramp as the bikers are coming up. You can now hear their like kind of almost evil, insidious cackle, like "Yeah, woo, wee," like that kind of shit coming from them as they head forward towards you guys. She's like, damn it, Ruby. I'm sorry. This is gonna get ugly." She pulls her .38 revolver out from under the seat, the one that she's used to show you how to shoot every once in a while, and cocks the hammer back, preparing a bullet for herself. Did you have a normal weapon other than that? I can't remember if she gave it. Was it like brass knuckles, I think?
Yeah, I have brass knuckles, and I have my pocket knife. Well, yeah, my pocket knife. My hunting knife. Sorry, not my pocket knife. My hunting knife, and then my revolver that she gave me.
This group, This group straight up looks like something out of Mad Max Fury Road. There's like there's 3 just bikers on bikes, and then there's 2 kind of like dune buggy-ish vehicles with harpoons on them. You see one is driving, another person is on these weird harpoon turrets that they fire into the back of the truck. Boom! One hits the one side. Boom! One hits the other side. and then you can just hear the parking brake engage on the dune buggies. The whole truck lurches. Give me a quick PP check. Your control, however, is going to drop at this point to a 30. Because you're in the shit, Ruby the Sparrow. You're in the shit.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Here goes nothing, though. PP check. All right. I'm gonna be in. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed. I got it.
Got it? Okay.
19.
All right, you haven't quite buckled in yet, but you managed to like catch the oh shit handle right as the harpoon hits, and you manage to keep yourself from going headfirst into the windshield. You realize that basically both of those dune buggies have just slammed their parking brake into active to just weigh down the truck. The truck's speed and forward motion going down the hill is still okay, but it's going to slowly start to be pulled back and back and back. Even with the horsepower, it's not going to be able to maintain that weight. At this point, one of the bikers speeds past the dune buggy, and you just hear squealing the whole time. Squealing, burning tires, everything. And one of the motorcycles just screams past one on the passenger side up towards you. You see him pull out like a double-barreled shotgun. What do you do?
I'm gonna take it and pull out my my hunting knife, and I'm going to throw it into his neck.
Okay. All right, into his neck. Well, let's see if you throw it into his neck.
Yeah.
we're gonna aim for the neck. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
All right, give me a attack roll.
Attack roll. Okay. And I would be rolling for that for my tech. What is that I roll?
So you'd roll a d20, and you would add any bonus you have to strike.
Perfect. So I have 23.
Okay, that's a good roll. Let's see if you can dodge. Ooh. All right. So you said it's a hunting knife? Did I give you the damage for the hunting knife?
You did. It is 1d6 plus 6. Plus 1, I'm sorry. So,
1d6
yeah,
plus
1d6
1?
plus 1.
All right, roll it.
Yeah.
1d6 plus 1.
Okay.
Make a quick control check for him.
So I wrote a natural 6, so plus 1 is 7.
All right, that's good damage. He did pass his control check, unfortunately, though. So you kind of lean out of the window, whip the knife at him. It does not hit the aforementioned neck. However, it digs hard into his shoulder. He's like, oh, shit! We got fighters, boys! We got fighters! Yeah! And this guy is just like, he is a ripped biker with just like a devil mustache, basically, long hair and a ponytail. You see blood start to seep from the wound. He actually can't make that shotgun work anymore. He puts the shotgun away and kind of falls back. As he falls back, another motorcycle comes up. You hear a couple of shots on the driver's side. Boom, boom. Ruby taking shots. You see somebody roll and fall back roughly. She takes the revolver, she puts the handle in her mouth to hold it in her mouth, takes her hand to shift so that she could get some more torque to fight against those people in the back, then takes her hand and puts the gun back in her hand like a true badass. Sun hat still on her fucking crazy ass head. She looks at you and goes, Ruby, you're going to have to get out of here. We're not going to be able to pull this off. At this point, more bikers come around from the other sides, and then you see a couple of guys start to climb out onto the top of the dune buggy, almost like they're going to use the harpoons to get to the truck. What do you do?
I'm going to climb out, but carefully climb out, so I'm not going to really have too much trouble. Climb up onto the top of the trailer.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and use my wings to glide out to the side of the road without them really seeing that I'm, leaving the scene.
Okay, so you're going to run like she says?
She told me to. So again, I listen to when she says something. I usually do it because again, she is going to know what's going to be best.
Okay. All right, so you go to climb out to do that. At this point, the other biker who has come around, he brings up a gun, levels it at you, takes a shot. Kind of like as you're about to go for the run, they're trying to cut you off almost. So let's see if he hits you. Oof. Rolls an 18 to hit you total. So what you would be rolling now, you have a choice. If you dodge, you lose an action from your next attack round should you decide to make attacks. And you would have to beat the 18. And you would be using a d20 plus your combined dodge bonus. That being said, you could also choose not to dodge and take the damage and hope to survive. But keep your action. So it's up to you.
Let's go ahead. I'm going to take a minus one of my actions, and I'm going to take the chance to dodge it.
All right, roll a d20, add your dodge bonus.
I have 20 because I have +6 for dodge, and then I rolled a 14.
Okay. All right, so you actually managed to dodge. You leap out, boom, 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 boom. A gun hits the side, wings go wide. You end up floating off to the side. Give me a quick PP check. Control, why am I control up? There we go. Control is, we're going to actually drop the control to a 20.
I got a 15, so we're good.
All right, so you end up managing to, like, even under the stress, your wings unfurl, you glide off. You even at the high speeds, you manage to put the wings up perfectly, like remember that Sparrow knowledge, and manage to make a good landing, only kind of like hop skipping a little bit, not even rolling or losing your footing. But you look after the truck, and just sorrow fills you because you realize that she, like, it's at this moment you reacted to what she said. That's what you've been trained to do. But you now realize that she was saying that so that you'd save yourself because she wasn't going to save herself. And sure enough, like, I'd say a quarter of a mile up the road, there's an overpass. We're in the middle of the night, so there's not a lot of traffic anywhere. And she just lurches the whole truck. We see her back in the cabin. She goes, "I'll be damned if you're taking my truck, you sons of bitches." And then she just lurches the whole truck through the guardrail, over the edge, toppling the I think they're about a story high, something like that, over the edge, crashing into the road, the highway below. The truck beds hit. I'm sorry, the trailer truck hits, splits into a million pieces. Cargo goes everywhere, all over the ground. You see one of the dune buggies is hurled, like dragged over. Like one of them manages to cut the harpoon, realizing what's happening, saves himself. The other damn dune buggy is dragged over the edge, flung, flipping over top, and just slams, pancaking the driver and the harpoon shooter inside before doing 3 rolls into a ditch past the truck. And the truck you see the truck hit, and then there's just like some fire springs up. You see the gang kind of look after it for a second, like almost like regretfully, and then they all pull and drive away. What do you do?
I'm going to go and check on her in the truck to make sure she's okay.
You manage to make it down the hill. You kind of walk down the hill towards the overpass, towards the bottom set of road, and then it looks like a train wreck here. There's just debris everywhere. Like this is a massive tractor truck that literally went over the size of an impact and just shattered. There's pieces of things all over the place. You're making your way through the just wrecked stuff. And you manage to find your way to the cab. The cab has been flipped over. She's dragged herself through the windshield. You see her cut in multiple places. You see a big piece of glass sticking out of her abdomen on her right side. She's just laying up against it, just bleeding shallowly. When you start to approach, though, she does manage a smile.
You have got me worried.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm fine, I told you. I'm indestructible. She coughs a little. Do you have any sort of, like, medical skill whatsoever on Ruby?
Yeah, I have first aid.
Give me a first aid roll with your controller. Well, no, just the first aid roll because it's skill.
Okay. Yeah, I got a 10.
You're rolling percentile for those, right?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
it. Yeah, I can show you.
No. You're just rolling really good, and I'm like, I want to make sure she's not accidentally rolling a d20.
Oh no, and I'm using a dice generator, so
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm not.
I'm not questioning. Just checking.
Yeah, no.
You with your first aid skills that she's taught you, you can tell that she is in a seriously bad way. She is beyond your medical ability to help her. Like right now in her current condition, she's dying. You're not exactly sure if other humans can't fix her better than you can, but you certainly can't stop the dying process. You couldn't even.
I'm going to sit. So what I'm gonna do is because Ruby would, she's gonna sit with her for as long as she can. But when she knows like it's to the point to where like she's going to of course give her respect in the way that her and Songbird, know how to because they have that spiritual connection. But then she's going to, of course, then dismiss herself away to where she's not going to, let her. She's going to let her go in peace.
Okay. You sit down next to her, and when you sit down next to her, she smiles at you and she goes, "You know what?" And she looks up at the stars. "Maybe we'll get lucky. Look inside the cab real quick."
Is there a certain spot?
Just, why don't you try and find my thermos?
Got it. So I will look for her thermos in the cabin.
You find her thermos. You don't obviously find the cups that were discarded on top of the truck, but you manage to kind of make like some makeshift cups out of the cup holders from the truck that have dislodged. You can put the hot stuff in there in the bag. It's not very good tea. It's not, the water isn't even hot anymore, but it's the symbolics of it. You sit down next to her. You hand her one of these improvised cups of tea, and she goes, "Yeah, this is how I wanted to do tonight." She takes a drink and looks up at the stars. "You gonna look at the stars with me?"
So, Songbird, would you want a little extra with that just to give it an extra flavor?
It's like, no. You know me and my tea.
Well, yeah, but I thought it might just ease the pain a little.
She looks at you and goes, "Ruby, you're easing my pain. I don't need anything other than that." And she takes a sip of it. She goes, "Listen, Birdie, things are going to get hard for you from here on out. You just remember the stuff I taught you, okay?"
Of course. I will do well. I will, of course, keep to the shadows. But when I need to do things that I need to, I will.
She actually pulls her 38 that she was using out of her pocket, hands it to you butt first. He goes, "Take this." And Ruby...
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm not going to be needing it. And then she goes, "Ruby, you got to find yourself some people. Find yourself a new flock, okay?"
But, again, I'm not going to find very many people that are accepting like you, but I'll try.
She's like, "Look, the world can be a terrible place sometimes, but it'll also be a great place. There's people out there who are going to accept you just the way you are. They're going to love you the way you are, just like I do, okay?" And then she kind of like reaches up, grabs your head, and just lightly kisses your forehead in a very loving, caring way.
Right. Okay.
But you got to go now.
All right, well, I'm out of here. I'm going to miss you. Take care. And of course, I'm going to leave.
It's like, "Oh yeah, we'll see each other. We'll see each other down the road." And then you kind of leave her with her tea. And that's That's where Ruby then eventually comes to meet the Stump gang at a haunted burger shop some days later. But we are not quite done. We have to finish the other part. Back to the fanboat chase! You guys make it to the fanboat, the shore. Tex, girls, and all start running. Roswell bringing up the rear as the whole soldiers came up. And I remember very clearly what was happening in the rolls here because Tex was not making any of them. So sure enough, the girls are sprinting their ass off. They're doing great. Stella, even with her limp, is doing good. But Tex somehow manages to, just nail a tree and go down and is having a hard time, and Roswell ends up picking him up. But Roswell is still quite a distance behind because of the swim. Up ahead, as you guys rush, the soldiers beating down you guys' heels. You do see the train slowly careening by. Aubrey, Stella, Lila, they all jump into the open carriage. You guys don't make the open carriage. You end up clasping on to one of the train cars towards the back of the train, about 3 or 4 cars behind the girls, but you managed to get on there. So that's where we pick up.
Well, that's real good looking out, Big Hoss.
Anytime there, buddy. I think we got off on the wrong foot.
To admit, it's been a rough couple of weeks and I forgot my manners. Start over. Hold out my hand to shake his hand.
I hold out a finger.
Yeah, that's about right.
You guys shake hands between the cars of the train when you hear a helicopter fly right past the train car that you're on.
I got a feeling that is not a good sign.
Yeah, that steel bird can't mean anything good for us. Or the girls.
What do you say we climb up top and take a look, see what we got to deal with?
I'll give you a boost.
You guys climb up top. You get to the top of the train car just in time to see General Braddock. 2 boots slam down on the top of the train car. So General Braddock is old, white-haired, but just built out the ass. He's got tons of scars on his face. He's dressed in the military fatigues. You guys are seeing a picture next to me. But he is built and stacked like he has never missed a day of protein powder, in his whole fucking life. You see him with this Bowie knife that might as well be a sword next to him. He steps there and he goes, guess you gotta get things done yourself. And starts to walk towards the train. When he hears you guys behind him, he turns around and looks and he goes, mutant freaks. Interesting. Are you the 2 that have been protecting the girls? My girls.
We've, I'll tell you this. What we do is none of your damn business, and I can assure you, they ain't your girls.
You ain't laying a finger on Goddess.
He shakes his head. Oh, shit, why did I do that? Oh, no, I did that right.
I hope that's what Braddock said.
No. He shakes his head and he goes, I'll do whatever I want with those girls. They're mine. They're bought and paid for. I put the magic in them. They're mine. And as far as you 2, he pulls out the knife. He goes, this is the end. He goes, this is your last stop. I had to make a train pun. Everybody roll initiative.
I say, that's not a knife. These are not knives.
Whooshing.
Why is it I'm the only one that I didn't bring a knife to a gunfight? And I draw my gun. All the puns.
All the puns are good. He
Initiative's 8.
got a 17.
I got a 9.
Woo! Okay. All right.
Effing Braddock.
Yeah, Braddock was a tough fight for you guys the first time. I'm hoping at
Yeah.
least, like, in the pantheon of me game mastering, Phil, very few times have I done the amount of damage that Braddock did to him in the first fight.
That was bad.
So I'm hoping
God.
that at least comes off in this fight as well.
I still wake up with like crying tears, like Braddock, no.
He's definitely
That
you
was
guys'
such a brutal
shredder.
fight.
He cracks his neck and then he just rushes Roswell. He's so fast, Tex, even you like end up fumbling for your gun. He's on Roswell super fast before Roswell brings up the knives. He comes in with just a big knife, just trying to stab to Roswell's chest. Alright, first attack. That is going to be a 19 to hit you. Right? Oh, no, wait. So, sorry. That is not correct. I remember why he kicked the shit out of you guys. He actually has a 25 to hit you.
God.
And now I remember why he almost fucked you guys up.
Well, I had a 20, but it ain't enough.
I'm sorry, I was reading it wrong. Okay, so damage from him to you. Oh, what did I give his knife? How don't I ever write stuff down? I ever write stuff down, Zach. I'll just give him a short sword.
And you're a good note taker anywhere else.
I'm a D8. Okay, his knife, 5 damage to you for the first attack, Roswell.
Alrighty.
He is just super fast. You're still pulling your blades as he comes in and just stabs in with the, like flips the blade around and stabs in. You manage to get to the side so that it just like cuts across your rib cage. He pulls back, flips it backhand, and then tries to bring it across your throat for the second attack, which is a 26.
26.
Yeah, he hit.
Okay, that is 7 damage.
How does the dodge thing roll again, or the parry thing roll again?
It's a D20. You add your parry bonus, and if you
okay.
beat his, you beat him. The difference between parry and dodge is dodge requires an action, parry doesn't.
Gotcha. Okay. So he hit on that second attack.
Yeah,
Did
so
you tell me damage?
7 damage.
Okay.
So he comes across. He doesn't catch your throat, but he catches your high chest. You're still backpedaling as you pull the knives off, just shocked. You've never fought anybody like this. He comes in with another attack. Ooh, this one's possible. 12.
18.
Nice. Okay. So that one you managed to get both blades up and block his, like he came at you with that slash, and then he literally just like spun it around and came at you with the same knife slash again. This time though, you managed to get up the the 2 blades and block the knife. However, he's not done. He's got one more attack. He spins all the way back around and tries to come up high with the knife stabbing to the side of your head like a temple shot. That one is going to be a 22 to hit you.
Oh, he definitely hit me.
6 points of damage.
All right, there's half my SDC gone.
I think if I recall correctly, last time you guys got to go before him,
Yeah.
if I remember. But this is definitely making him look way scarier. So that knife, you manage to duck, and he still catches the top of your head, like drawing blood and scales. You are already cut up, like staggered back and breathing hard. So does Tex go before you, or do you go
Yeah.
before? Yeah. All right, Tex, what are
I
you
got
doing?
like one above him.
I am going to say this. If you shoot into melee, because I made this call last time, if you're shooting into melee and you roll under a 5, you hit Roswell.
I don't have too many other options.
I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying that's what happens because I made that call last time. I gotta make it this time. I know I did.
Okay. And I'm gonna try and actually move away to put some distance between me and them, and then fire.
Okay. All right.
And I'm going to 21 to hit.
Ooh. Should he dodge?
I really need to name this gun. I love this gun so much.
He's not gonna dodge. Roll damage. He wants his 4 attacks so he can end Roswell.
That is a 12 to hit. Or 12 damage, sorry.
12 damage? Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is a lot of damage. All right. Just forget how much damage you do with that fucking thing.
Even with like a 1 on one of my dice.
Yeah. So you take aim, boom! You unleash the 357 shot. The bullet catches him high in the shoulder on the back. He grunts and actually staggers forward, making a. Because that's your one attack, right? Because you have to.
Yeah. I took an aimed.
You took an aim
attack. So.
Okay, so it actually staggers forward, leaving the opening for Roswell. Roswell, go.
All right. First attack is a 9.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure he's gonna dodge that, but let's see. Holy shit, you hit him! He rolled a 6. Roll damage. That's the way, man. That's the way. Why am I putting this here? Don't put this here. Get an index card, dumbass.
10 damage.
10 damage, and how much bleed?
3.
Okay. Alright.
I'm like, my turn.
Yeah, you come in and just like, he's staggered from the bullet. You come in with the blade and just catch him across the center chest. It's not enough to like open him up or gut him or anything, but just a huge stream of blood comes right off him as he staggers backwards. That one actually makes him yowl a little bit, like, ah, as he staggers backwards.
Second one's a 10.
Jesus Christ. This is a much more severe fight than it was last time. He got an 8, so roll damage.
Wow. Ooh, I just got the max damage. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Ooh, nice. Take that to 35. So that's actually going to be 7. So it's going to take 7 from there. Okay, all right. You come in with the second attack, both blades just coming down. You end up slamming onto his incredibly well-defined shoulders. Blood, like, they actually dig in slightly, and you pull back hacksaw style, and blood, like, sprays off of him on that. He staggers backwards, and you're just shocked, because any normal man would be dead at this point. But this somehow fucking 50-year-old dude is just, like, it's standing there covered in blood with willpower and hate fueling him. And he is still up. I think you still have one more attack, though, right?
2 more. The third one, though, is an auto miss because I rolled a 1.
I'm going to say that you're just so wowed by the fact that he's still standing that you just forget to make that third attack, basically.
And the fourth one is a 14.
Okay. He will get a 15 to dodge, so you finally, like, you kind of go wide-eyed at him as he steps forward, and you come in with both blades. You do kind of like an overhead swing, and he kind of rolls to the side, and it becomes his turn. We cut back to the inside of the car. We see Aubrey and Stella standing there. They hear the helicopter going over. Stella's eyes have faded. She starts to, like, stagger a little bit, fall to one knee. She's like, give me it. I'm sorry, Aubrey goes, give me the mutagen. She goes, no, nobody else. She's like, no, don't do that martyr shit right now. Give me the mutagen. They need me. She goes, you can't control it. She goes, give me the mutagen. She finally hands over the mutagen. She goes, it's time for me to contribute. She pops the top, takes a swig. We go back to the top of the car. He's coming at you there, Bill. First attack is an 18 to hit you.
Oh, I rolled a crit.
Nice. All right, so you come down with that swing. He ends up sidestepping it and trying to stab you in the side. But you actually bring your arm back and block his forearm with your forearm so that his knife actually can't make contact. At that point, he actually kind of brings his other hand up, slapping your hand down so that he can bring his knife hand back up for another stab. So you guys are in like full like fucking knife fight mode. That one is going to be a 21.
Definitely hits.
Ooh. Only 4 points of damage.
Okay.
So he brings it back down, ends up just driving it down into your shoulder. You kind of howl in pain a little bit. He pulls the knife out, and then he tries to kind of like step forward and stab for the other shoulder. It's 1, 2, 3. This is the third one. That one is only a 15 to hit you.
And it's still gonna hit.
Oof. 7 points of damage.
Okay.
Stabs you in the other shoulder, like almost like he's picking your arms apart. Stabs you in the other shoulder, like, oh! So you're started to be covered in blood like he is. Well, how much health do you have left?
I have 8 SDC left. And
Okay.
Then I'll go to health.
All
I'm
right.
tanky, so.
He has one last attack. He pulls the blade out, flips it up, and he goes, "Time to end you, lizard." And then he stabs forward with the blade. Oh! Natural 20. Critical.
Well, I did not.
Damage coming at you. 16 points of damage.
How many?
16.
Okay, that gets into my health. So, okay.
All right, he actually pulls you into the blade, stabs you up into the blade, into the ribs, just driving it forward. It's at this point though that Wizard, it's Wizard's turn, right? Yeah, Wizard's turn.
Okay.
As you're basically seeing Roswell get stabbed to death, but Braddock's also pretty stabbed to death too. They're stabbing each other to death.
Well, god damn it. I'm gonna take actually 2 shots, so I'm not gonna use my full modifier. I'm gonna see how much damage I can do this guy. And that first one was a 7 total. The second one was a natural 20 though.
He's actually gonna spend the action to dodge you on the first one.
Yeah, I bet he is.
He definitely dodges that 7. He's not gonna let you shoot him again with the 357. So your first shot is, Jackie, we can't hear anything you're saying if you're talking to us, because I see your mouth moving, and I just want to make sure you're not talking to us.
You're muted.
I don't know. Her mouth's still moving. I don't know. All right, so you.
No, that's fine. I of course have to take this call real quick.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine then. Okay. Boom! You take this huge shot. You duck under the. He manages to kind of like steer Roswell, so that shot runs fire. What's the second shot?
22 total.
22 total. All right. He's gonna use an action to try and dodge that one too, because he's actually really fucked up. He does not dodge that one though, even with his exorbitant dodge. So roll damage.
That is 11 damage.
Okay, 11 damage. Okay. Alright, I think it's Roswell's turn, right?
Yep.
Alright, so Tex hits him with the bullet. Boom! It actually splits you guys up. He holds the blade. It pulls it out of your chest. You kind of fall back to one knee. He falls back to one knee. Both of you guys just covered in each other's blood, facing each other down, bleeding and breathing hard. It's pretty fucking epic.
I just lunge at him.
Okay.
First attack. It's a Natural miss.
Okay. He blocks.
Second attack's a crit, though.
Ooh, dangerous crit. Are we gonna kill the bad guy in the in the prequel? I'm rolling to see if he crits. He does not crit.
Then
Damage.
how's damage work? It's just doubles, right?
It's just double the damage. Yeah, you just double the damage.
So it'll be 12 times 2, so 24.
12 times 2, so 24. Okay. So you just take this huge chunk out of him. Just blood goes everywhere. He staggers backwards, yowling.
That was what, my second, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Third is an 11.
Dodges that or parries that. He just keeps rolling with the first wound. Just blood is all over the top of this train.
And fourth is a 12.
All right, so you managed to miss him one last time. Whooshing, whooshing, you're hitting him. You took a huge chunk out of him. He's covered in blood. He steps backwards. He stands up. You're feeling the exhaustion. You're about to like run out of steam. He's about to go off on you. You can see he's out of steam, and it's at this point you guys just hear this. Ah! You see Aubrey just rushing down. All of her veins on her arms have been popped, and they're all green for whatever. She's kind of like slightly hawked out herself. She leaps into the air, horsey in the air. Wham! Connects to Braddock. One furious, huge shot from an absolutely jacked 10-year-old, and Braddock goes spiraling off the train with and a trail of blood into the forest, presumably dead, which we all know he isn't. Yeah, that's it. At that point, Roswell, you kind of plop down one knee, and how much health did you have left?
32 actual.
Oh,
health.
nice. So you're not doing too bad. You can manage to keep yourself up. And then she's just kind of like breathing hard and has to take a second to relax and let the steam off. And it's at that point that all of you end up back into the car, in the train, being carried away to what you believe is safety. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we ended the first campaign Origins, and we have ended it again rightly. I think we did a good job. I think it was almost better than the first time, if I might say so myself. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was definitely up there. The first time was good also. But...
Yes, the first time was good. We got this one done faster because I cut some of the rolls, and also because we weren't all like... I think the last time we played was literally the first time Phil had ever played this system ever.
Yeah, but
things were a little bit slower, but yeah, we're all done. We also got to fit Ruby in there, so we're a little bit better set up for the big one, the long road.
Yeah, I had a great time on this one. This was it was fun rehashing this story.
Yeah, it was fun to have it so that people can actually hear it, and I think we got it basically to what had happened the first time, which is what makes me very happy. I can finally sleep without this being in my voice like, hey, remember, that's fucked up. So let's go ahead and do the plugs before we sign off. Phil Billy, what you want to plug, buddy?
Well, be sure to check out Astral Drive when it returns for Season 2 and in the new year. We're taking a little break until the holidays are over. And currently you can check out Baldur's Gate 330 if you are interested in seeing myself and Zach go through that game and try our best to role play the characters that we are playing.
Yes.
And that's about it. Other than that, have a good holiday, everybody, and thank you to anyone who jumped in the chat. I saw Trixie9.
Wizard's Respite. What would you like to plug, sir?
The Wizard's Respite website, where I dive into all things TTRPG, and specifically this Friday we have a new Wizard's Respite Sanctorum, which is a show that Zach and I dive into this hobby. We're doing the game books, a very specific type of RPG. We're doing a deep dive into it, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. In some ways, it's kind of like a little bit of an origin of the solo RPG game system as they are today. Kind of like a little bit of a historical look at where the solo TTRPGs came from,
or at least our experience with it.
Yeah.
Hope Child, plug, madam, plug.
Yeah. So I have a little small business of my own. It is called Creative with Love by Jackie Rakes. I make, of course, your Christmas pins that are now up on the page. I also now have coffee mugs and, of course, our favorite tumblers. Of course, that you can customize for yourself. I do have a few of my guys that I have made them their mugs to go along with their companies and stuff as well. So again, they make great gifts. Anniversary, birthday, again, Christmas coming up, any other holidays. So take a look. And if you like anything you like, message me and we can make some magic happen.
Just because
I love this thing. I love this thing.
Just because I didn't hear you say it, Created with Love is on Facebook, everybody.
Yes, it is on Facebook. Yeah.
I want to make sure they know where to see you because her tumblers are amazing. I have one too. I don't have it downstairs, or I would also be modeling it, but Wiz was modeling his, and Philbilly has one too. I just don't have mine in the room. As far as I am concerned, yes, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you for enjoying this. Thank you for being present for it. I do have a special plug now until Christmas, well, until the 23rd. Single Mod is actually on sale for 15% off. Please go buy it. It is my role-playing game that I released that we play Astral Drive in and are working on many things for. I also made my first devlog for it, and I'm going to be updating the fans as we go forward as far as like what we're working on. Me and Wiz are already working on a new setting for it. Other people have already submitted some ideas for settings. I'm really excited about it. We're also going to be doing a lot of TTRPG projects in 2024. Nothing I'm willing to talk about yet, but we're working on a few of them, which I'm very excited about. You can, of course, check out Sanctorum, just like Wiz said. I do, not in addition to thanking Trixie9 for being in the comments, thank you to Asylum66 for jumping in there as well. And yeah, anybody who watches this, thank you for watching this. We really enjoy it. You are going to be eventually able to listen to this / watch this on Spotify. I have to figure out a couple of logistics for it. Plus, I haven't been recording as well as streaming all of these. So I'm going to have to go back and re-record all of them, which is a little bit obnoxious, but I've got to do it in order to post it on there. So, but look for that in 2024, which this was kind of the final puzzle piece. we needed this closed. I do want to thank my players here for joining us back up to basically resolve my own personal obsessive compulsive issue, and we can move on. We're going to be back in January with another Stump Gang. We'll be back on the long road. It's going to be super exciting. Please come back for that and check out Astral Drive and all the stuff we've got in the future. You guys can also reach us on Facebook at OldManGamingDH, on Twitter at OldManGaming9. You can join our Discord. Links in the description below. Influence us in all of our shows from there. Check out Wizards Respite at wizardsrespite.com. Check out Hope Child, otherwise known as Jackie, at Created with Love on Facebook. And as long as you guys keep listening and watching, we will keep making it. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.